Hey there, guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests. And wow, the markets are green today. It is beautiful to see, right? And I told you guys last week that this was going to happen, right? I was saying throughout the week, buy this dip because we're going to see a turnaround in the market. This is just a correction and not a crash. And on Friday, right, we saw that as well. We didn't see as much red anymore. We saw a lot of green, or a little bit of green coming back through, right? And the reds were only like 0.63% down and stuff like this, right? And now today, we saw bond yields way down again, right? And in return, what happens? Bond yields go down, they become less attractive, stocks become more attractive again, and we see the market go up. People are less worried about inflation again, right? We had a little bit of stimulus news on the weekend too. The stimulus is now in the Senate to see what happens there, and hopefully it passes, right? And if it does, again, we're going to see the markets continue upwards and upwards here again. Volatility back down, right? And we'll look at that today as well. But today, really, I just want to go through a few of the stocks that I see doing well this week, and just a little bit of a recap and sort of what I'm looking at buying here this week, right? So we'll start off by just looking at my watch list right now. I've moved myself over so you guys can kind of see a little bit better here, the watch list. But we see Cielo. First of all, this one's one I talked about last week, right? And wow, we've seen an insane run, 52% again today. We were at a high of 1.62 earlier, and it's great. Somebody on Bloomberg talked about this one last Thursday, I believe, and that's why, we've seen this big run. They gave an $8 price target, and I tend to agree. And actually, I have it higher. And you guys know I don't really like to give price targets on this channel, but in general, in the next few years, I see this one doing very, very well, closer, to the $15 level even. And that's why I picked up quite a lot of shares down here back when I first talked about it, right around that 0.38 is actually my cost basis on this one. But I do see this continuing. Again, I probably wouldn't buy it yet because we are at a high price, but with sort of what the guy on Bloomberg said and everything, I don't see us coming down too much further here. Hillcrest Petroleum as well. I talked about this one last week too, and again, like Morgan Stanley picked up shares here. We haven't even gotten any news yet, right? This is just essentially from interest in the stock, right? And, we're coming back down a bit today, or a bit again now. But once we see that news come through, this one's going to jump a lot as well, similar to Cielo here. So, and Cielo now is at 1.3, but Hillcrest, we're up 17%, but we're still at 0.272, right? So you guys can still get in this one with a lot of shares here, and that's nice. So keep that in mind. SOS had a huge crash last week, and it is one that I'm in right now, and I am still down on it quite a bit because I bought this one close to the highs. But if you had bought this one right around the $4, I mean, wow, right? Really, really good stuff. So yeah, this week, really, I'm watching Hillcrest. I may add a little bit to my position in Hillcrest. We'll see. I think throughout the week, again, we could see this one come back down because we haven't seen any of that news come out yet, right? And without it, we might see it pull back down a little bit. But CMC, right? This one, because Bloomberg talked about it, that's why I don't see this one coming down that much more anymore. So that's kind of that there. And fuel cell and plug, I told you guys last week too, would be a great time to buy, right? And we can see, $16 we're already back at, 17.83. I keep telling you guys, right? Like, buy at the lows when you can, and just hold your shares for years, right? For example, fuel cell, it's at 17.85 right now, right? In 2 years from now, I see them being much higher than their last all-time high at $29, right? I'm not personally picking up any shares there right now, but that's just because I already have such a low cost basis on the stock, and I know that's not really, a great sort of mindset to have. But when you're in a bunch of different stocks and you have minimal cash to invest here, right? You want to kind of just buy some other stocks that you believe in too, right? You can't only buy one stock. I mean, sure, like meet Kevin, for example, he mostly just buys Tesla, and that's fine. But for me, when you're buying these really low cap stocks as well, and that's not all I have in my portfolio. I also have Teslas, I have the plugs, the Neos, right, and all this. But you still do want to diversify a little bit where you can, right? So that's kind of why I haven't been picking up more fuel cell or more plug. But again, I'm holding what I have here because I do see them both much higher. Plug right now, right? Here's the thing about Plug Power is they actually had a announcement just last week on Twitter where they sort of have even another deal coming through, or what I see to be another deal, going into some other parts of Europe here. And I forget exactly what. Let's just take a look here, actually. Let's go to Twitter here for a minute. Right, so Plug is now a member of the Waterstofnet, right, association, which is Netherlands and Belgium here, and that's kind of the association where it is, right? So we see again them moving into Netherlands, Belgium, some other parts of Europe, and this is going to continue to increase their stock price. Maybe not in the super near term, because again, we're just starting here, but in kind of the future here, we will continue to see Plug have these deals throughout Europe and these deals throughout the world, and continue upwards and continue expansion and continue growth, right? So keep that in mind too. Now, Brewbilt is one that I wanted to talk about, and I'm actually going to do a more in-depth video on Brewbilt tomorrow. But there's a big issue with Brewbilt right now, right? And that is that when I first talked about this stock, their management team had said, we're going to do a share buyback. We're going to have these huge revenues coming in, and I took that to be accurate, and it may have not been accurate, right? Because Brewbilt, right, and we'll go through this quickly, but I'll do a more in-depth video tomorrow, guys. It's gonna be our Tuesday video. Is that they're actually issuing more shares, and they've issued more shares twice now since they said they're going to do a buyback, and it's not great. It's very annoying because they're not sticking to what they said they were going to do, and it hurts us as investors, right? And still long term, I could see them doing well, yes. And am I selling any shares? No, I'm not currently selling any shares, because I still think we could see some of those revenues come in the next quarter, right? And in the next 2 quarters, really. So I'm still watching out for that. And it can still be good, and they still could do some share buyback. But right now, they've issued shares twice, once in sort of a more private setting, and the other time they're doing now a public offering, and it's not great. But hopefully they still stick with some of the buybacks they are potentially doing. But right now, I mean, this is horrible. Even I'm down on this stock now, and I haven't sold any. I didn't sell any at the highs. But yeah, we're just going to hold this one and see where we go from here. So again, not too worried about that. It's similar to, I mean, this one, it's risky, right? At Brewbilt, it's risky because if management continues to not do what they say, then the share price is going to continue to fall. But I still believe that they're going to have these revenues coming in, and that's why I'm holding for now. It's something I'm definitely watching out for here too. And I said very good food company too, right? Last week would have been a good time to buy, and it really still is, because if we go kind of out to the hour chart, we can see the bottom here, really. And this was kind of the last time we hit the bottom at sort of around that 537 level, right? And we are above that, $6 now, but again, I do see them continuing upwards from here. These lows, I don't think are going to last again. So I did want to quickly share with you guys the volatility index here too, right? Because we can see, and I showed you guys this one on Friday too, how we were already coming back down, and we were at around that sort of 26, I would say, 2680-ish. And then we just kept coming down here, right? And today we're all the way down at 23, and we can see that kind of compares to around where we were here when we were continually going up in the market. So that's hopefully going to continue down here, and we're hopefully going to continue to see stocks go up. Now, of course, we could always see stocks come down more, but in general, I think we'll see the market do well here again for the next few weeks. And I could be wrong. We could again see a red day tomorrow. We never know, right? And there's a lot of economics behind the scenes here at play right now. But again, in general, I think we'll see good things here moving forward throughout the next few weeks. That's kind of all I have for you guys today there, really. I mean, I just want to do a quick little update for you guys, what I see for this week. And I see green, so keep that in mind and enjoy it, really. I hope you guys did buy last week, because I don't think we're going back down here for the next few weeks. Unless, for example, if stimulus doesn't come through here, or if bond rates come back up heavily, or if people get a little bit more worried about inflation again. But in general, I don't see any of those really happening this week, at least. So enjoy the green here. And we're still, keep in mind though, as well, we're still low, right? We're not even close to where we were before. We could still come down more, but if you're looking for a place to buy, we're still at a good place to buy here today. It's not like, oh, the stocks are back up to where they were, we can't buy anymore. No, we're still at this level now where we're coming back around, right, to the upside, but we're still low in all of these stocks, so it's still not a bad time to pick up any shares. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share the video where you can. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow.